Hello everyone, welcome back to BB's video on why is math in K-12 schools so miserable and ugly. In this video I will be discussing bias, personal opinion, personal experience that I'm sure a lot of other people can relate to. Maybe some yes, maybe some no. So let's get started with my personal experiences as to not so much why I hate math as an adult, because I've come to terms with accepting that I'm not good at math. But it doesn't mean that I have to hate math. So, in kindergarten, I'm pretty sure I struggled here and there, but like everyone else, you know, kindergarten is kindergarten. So I don't think that counted, and I don't remember hating it then. First grade, I had a really bad teacher who just was terrible to kids, and she hated kids, but she taught first grade anyways. I don't know why. And she made everything a chore and everything miserable, and she screamed and cursed and shouted and insulted us kids. So I'm not going to use that school year or grade level or those negative experiences, struggling to tell times, struggling with hours and minutes, struggling with carrying and borrowing in both subtraction and addition. Those were struggles everyone had because the teacher could not give compliments to anyone. So that is going to be excluded. Second grade, I think I enjoyed math. I enjoyed it so much I went on eBay and Amazon to look for the textbook workbook that I had as a kid to buy it for myself as an adult, just out of nostalgia. And I bought it, and it's pretty basic for late 90s, but hey, I like it. It was cool. It was kind of like a work text, where it was a paperback workbook, but there wasn't a lot of room to write or draw diagrams or answers in little kid handwriting, and so it was good as a work text. Secondly, third grade. Third grade, I began to struggle in math. I had a teacher who was not very patient or kind. She often singled me out. The other kids singled me out. That was the year bullying really began against me. And I could not, for the life of me, figure out 4 times 3 or 3 times 4, even though now I know as an adult it's 12. But I knew that 6 times 2 was 12, but I couldn't make 4 times 3 equal 12 in my head. And at the same time, in the same days, in the same times as doing multiplication in class, long division, as in double digits, divided into / by triple digits, and even into the thousands with a lot of remainders. And because I struggled so much with even basic multiplication, my long division also suffered greatly, and the teacher just made math very miserable, very unhappy, very undesirable, and she certainly did not encourage me or try to help me in easy or peaceful ways. She made me feel as if I couldn't do it. Fourth grade math was kind of here and there. I struggled with fractions, but I didn't hate it. Fifth grade, my mom was still the PTA president of that school, and I would go into the book room with her. That was like the teacher supply everything room. There were bookshelves galore of all different resources and class sets of textbooks and reading books and materials and manipulatives and hands-on items for every subject area possible. And I saw so many math books. I was in awe. They were workbooks, and yet all the teachers were just making photocopies of worksheets day in and day out, not trusting any kids to have any workbooks. I remember first grade and second grade we had workbooks for math, but beyond that, they just used photocopy resource books and binders full of pages to photocopy, and so much paper got wasted. Maybe they didn't trust the kids to have workbooks to possess. I don't know. It probably would have been easier, and I think that's kind of where I get my fascination with K-12 academic workbooks now as an adult, because I have quite a collection of many of them, especially math ones. And then, in 5th grade, I was struggling with math in all areas, and in reading, and reading language arts, lower level was at the same time as higher level math, but lower level math was at the same time as upper level language arts. I was way ahead of the game in language arts. And academically, reading interest-wise, I was maybe more of a middle school level than a 5th grade level. And my comprehension was good too, out loud, but I couldn't paraphrase for shit. And then for math, I just kept on struggling and struggling and struggling, and no amount of extra help at recess to stay in with the teacher was helping me. They did not provide me with any tutors. They did not put me in a math resource class. They didn't put me in the special education resource room to get extra math help. There was nothing. No room parents or volunteer parents helped me with my math. My parents helped me, but they could only do so much. And my mom and I went through all the workbooks and materials in that supply room that I saw. We picked out a few. At lunchtime, she went with me to my 5th grade classroom. We talked to my teachers and presented, I could do these, but the math that you're teaching me is too hard, and it wasn't working for me. Or I wasn't working for it, or the one-size-fits-all model was not a very good fit, and that's why one-size-fits-all is kind of a paradox in itself. It's not going to fit all if you keep on giving the one single idea, the one single food to everyone and expect everyone to eat that food. Not everyone's going to like the texture or the taste or the aftertaste. Not everyone is going to be able to chew it or digest it. Some people might be allergic to it. The same thing can go with math curriculum in our schools and other subject areas too, but especially in math. There are so many different brands, so many different styles, so many different publishers. I could list a lot of them, like right now, like Glencoe and Prentice Hall and McGraw-Hill and Singapore and Marshall Cavendish and Saxon Hake, Saxon Larson, Singapore Math and Focus, Singapore Dimensions, Singapore Primary, Singapore Math Challenge. So many different brands of math. You have teaching textbooks, which is online. You have Redbird. You have Math You See. You have so many different brands of math that you could learn from. So many different styles. And yet the teachers want students to only take the prescribed math that is assigned to that school by that school district and not do anything else. No salt added, no butter added, no supplemental material, no substitutions. And the teachers said, no, you can't do those books. Go put them back in the supply room. And you know what they told me after that? To suck it up. To try harder. To apply myself better. To study harder. To read more math stuff. And to suck it up. And to try harder than my best, and that my best wasn't good enough. So yes, my parents and I approached the idea of other materials. The teachers shot it down. Didn't provide a why, just provided deflection, and there we go. In 5th grade, 70-pound, 4'3", 11-year-old me internalized at the appropriate thinking skills of 11-year-old. I don't like math anymore because I'm being taught the math in a way that I can't learn it. So I hate math. And that evolved over the years into more hatred for math, and more, and teachers deciding, no, we're not going to use any other materials. We may have the materials, but we're not going to use them, and you just got to try harder, even though your best isn't good enough. And we're going to keep on telling you have bad grades, and you got to try harder, but your best isn't good enough. And it's a circle jerk reaction. That is K-12 math. Kindergarten to 12th grade math is basically a circle jerk reaction of going in circles and not getting anywhere, especially when the math does not work, because there's no such thing as a one-size-fits-all. It's an oxymoron. But I am not a moron, and I do not suck at math in a bad way. I just suck at math in a normal way. Academic math stays in schools, whereas real-life math stays in real life, but there really is a separation, a fine line between the two of what you do in real life outside of school and then the math you do on worksheets in school. There's two differences, and they're two very different types of math. And we're not really taught that type of math in school, even in high school, of life skills, functional, everyday, financial, budgeting, financial interest, bank account type of math. They just do Algebra 1, Algebra 2, Applied Math, Advanced Math, blah blah blah, Pre-Calculus, Calculus, Advanced Calculus, AP Calculus, Trigonometry, Statistics, all those, but not math that you can take into the real world. They just want you to do the math that's in the school, for the sake of the school, for the standardized test, and no supplemental resources are given. I'm not saying that applies to all, but it applies to many. And I think that is one major reason why so many Americans, at least in the American school system, find math to be so miserable and ugly. And that is today's video. Thank you for coming. Please click like and subscribe. And stay tuned for more videos and more rants about why education in America sucks. Thank you. Have a great day.